who was of high repute. So he's not the kind of person that will ever step out to go and look for anybody. He will not. But what has happened is that because that intimacy does not exist, they are just cohabiting. And one of the things he told me is that every time I look for outside work, because once there is no intimacy, there is no peace. Once there is no peace, there is no joy. Irritation comes. So he is living in his house with a woman, and they are not intimately together. So he's not happy. His home doesn't give him joy. I don't want to go into the details of what brought them to that level. But one of the things, I have said it before, I have to, will I treat this again? No. One of the things you must know, women. You know, when I talk women, the reason is because people, unfortunately, are the ones that suffer these things more. So if you help yourselves, you will help the men. Are you getting me? It's very hard for a woman to be intimate with you, especially when the woman is a married woman. It's very hard to generate intimacy for a different man. Okay, so one of the complaints is the dirtiness of the woman. One. Second complaint is the dirtiness of the environment. Women, I am kneeling to beg you. A man, most men, generate their attraction, sexual attraction, from their environment. If a man walks into his house and everywhere is scattered, even though he had in mind when he was coming, waiting, I go do this woman, waiting, I go do this one. Once he enters that environment, see, remaining here, yesterday's soup there, the other one there, that thing dies immediately. That's the way they are. It's only a man who came from who has a little bit of dog genetics in him that will bypass all these things and still take an action very hard. But generally speaking, forgive me for that, it's just a joke. Okay, so, but generally speaking, dirty environment, because the guy has sent me videos before. Videos. Because every time you say, Pastor, if I tell you now, you will tell me that God hates divorce. Pastor, see, this video I'm doing now, this Gary you're seeing there is made last week. The Gary is like this. Covered up with, are you getting me? It's still in the pot. The mortar used in pounding this, not washed. Everywhere scattered. So when things are like that, intimacy will naturally die. I am glad to be your pastor. I am so glad. Reason is because you are young. You people are young. If we correct it, the next generation will enjoy life. Men hate dirtiness. Let me also put it the other way. But it's more on the other side. So men are dirty. Are you getting me? It's just that women know how to endure us. They know how to. There are some men that can't be beside you. Their mouth smell like soccer pit. Your wife can't kiss you. When you bring him out, suddenly your wife says, I don't like kissing. Because that's a polite way of telling you that, honey, honey, I can't, honey, oh. Please, get a good toothpaste. Get a good brush. Brush your teeth. Afterwards, brush your tongue. Hey. Throw up. Vomit anything you need to vomit. And let me warn you, before you sleep, and you're a married man, brush. Before you sleep, married woman, brush. And after brushing, don't eat again. Don't eat again. Don't eat again. Keep it clean. Make it easier for somebody to come. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So please, keep it neat. Out. If you know any lady in the church that you like her neatness, Anytime you sit around her, you never perceive bad breath. Ask her. Because the truth is that once you ask her, that day, that is the day you will ask her. Is it not? The rest of the days, you will become the reference point. Learned. So it might be wrong paste. It might be wrong paste. It might be wrong brush. It might be the act. You don't know the act of brushing. Because some people will tell you they are going to brush. Once they enter the bathroom, less than one... You'll be wondering, sorry, have you finished brushing? Will I sleep there? Really? I am not also saying that it's in the taking of time. It's in the knowing the art. And then afterwards, try to freshen your breath from time to time. Everybody's mouth smells, including Pastor Kosfini's mouth. Everybody's mouth smells. But refreshing it from time to time. If you don't like gum, lick sweet. If you don't like sweet, buy mouth spray. Enough. That sustains you in the next 15, 20 minutes. And it's very sweet when you're talking to somebody, and if he's perceiving good breath, he's taking breaths in. Men, can I give you a secret? Especially men that have this goatee. When you are done putting your perfume here, the last one, put it here and rub it this way. If you have this, this is a sustainer. It can sustain the fragrance. And once you come close to the person, the one that is close to the person immediately. So you won't be smelling like goat. Oh, number 5. Lack of equality. Lack of equality. So like the first one, financial, what? Financial disagreement. This is like it also. But this also is all encompassing. It's a little bit about finance. It's also into when the other partner or the other spouse feels that he is the one not just taking financial burden, he's also the one taking the whole burden of the chores of the house. Your wife is the one that washes your clothes, washes her clothes, washes the children's clothes, irons your clothes, irons the children's clothes, irons her clothes, cooks in the kitchen, washes the dishes, does everything. My dear, after a while, she will start feeling so burdened and worn out. So that you are the man doesn't mean you can't cook sometimes. That you are the man doesn't mean you can't help wash plates sometimes. If you can't wash plates, get a dishwasher and make it easier. If you can't wash clothes, get a washing machine and make it easier for her. So anyhow you have to help. Sometimes tell her to sit down. Let me enter kitchen. Make her show you something. You don't. When I used to be a good cook. My dear, cook nonsense and bring. She's the one that will tell you tomorrow, baby, don't cook again. Don't cook again. I've not recovered from the last cook. It was so sweet, So sweet. But make an effort. How do you think your wife will feel coming home one day and see her clothes on the line, washed by the husband? Now, let me tell you women too. Let me tell you. Because when I talk this way, I talk that way. Do you know why men don't do it with you? Anytime a man does that, it becomes his job. That's the problem. Women don't know how to draw boundaries. Once the man does it first time, second time, third time, honey, my clothes now. Honey, my clothes now. And once that comes upon a man, men like to do things willfully. Once you make it a duty, his ego comes. He feels that you are sending him on an errand. Resistance will come. So it takes wisdom. If you want to make him to wash it again and again and again, when your clothes are packed up, say, honey, which soap do you even use in washing my clothes? I said, it's normal Premier now, or Lux. Honey, I don't believe you. Or do you know that clothes, do you know, even putting perfume is very hard for me now because they smell so nice. Honey, it's like you have a way of rinsing clothes. I mean, no, I leave it for you, honey. You are too much. A man will get sense, no say, you descend them. But the way you came, before you come back tomorrow, if he didn't do it, he's the one that will apologize that, honey, I wasn't able to watch that, but tomorrow I'll do it. But most times you people don't know how to do it because you carry the burden and wickedness that happen outside and enter the house and start talking anyhow. Marriage is the easiest thing if common sense is applied. Now, another point is number one. That is, lack of preparation is another cause of divorce. Lack of preparation. Most people get into marriage unprepared. My younger sister is now married. It's remaining me. So any food that says I'll go marry you, just jump into his hand. You're not prepared. Lack of preparation. Like that for man, like that for woman. Sometimes, especially in our culture, African culture, it's an unannounced law that the elders should marry first before the rest, isn't it? Okay, so sometimes you see a man who is not ready for marriage, even though he's 35 going to 40, and then he's not ready for marriage. And the younger brother at 25, 30 is already mature and ready and prepared for marriage. And the younger brother is saying, brother, marry now, make her marry. Instead of telling the guy, maintain your lane, marry. I'll even be your best man. Marry. You say, no, just give me 6 months, I'll marry. You just run into one accident. You know you are not ready, you're not prepared. So some people marry for others, marrying, not because they are ready to marry. They don't know what marriage is. So if you're not prepared, you are actually going to come out of the marriage. So before you get into marriage, prepare. Prepare. Emotional preparation, psychological preparation, because one of the things that we notice is that the first 2 years of an average marriage, there is always a regret from the man and the woman, like, who sent me? Who sent me? Child, who sent me? One of the things you must know is that once you marry, your freedom is gone. Ladies, your freedom is gone. No man can stop me. You can't tell me where to go and how to go. No, I can go where I'm going to go. You can't go where you want to go. You have mortgaged your under a leadership, so every movement must be permitted. If it's not permitted, trouble comes. Lack of preparation. Okay, different levels, blah, 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 blah. I can't do much about that again. Now, communication, poor communication, poor communication. This is one of the major causes of divorce in the 21st century marriages. Inability to your spouse the right way. You must not, one of the things you must not do in communication is that you must not yell. You must not nag. Nagging is not communication. Women, nagging is not communication. You know what the man says in his heart when you're doing that? Continue. You're done. You talk. Anything you are saying in between nagging, even if it lasts for 5 hours, the man didn't hear one. Not because he can't hear. At that moment of the way it's being communicated, he has refused to hear. So nagging is called communication. Shouting is not communication. This is for men. I said, don't do that. Yeah, you do it. What's your name? What is that? Ijele masquerade. You don't shout. When you also shout, you know what the woman does? The woman keeps quiet. It's like pouring water on an egg, expecting it to permeate. She locks off for peace to reign. But in her heart, they talk. Okay? Another one is that quietness is not also communication. Don't always be quiet when your spouse is communicating. Men are victims of this one. Your wife is talking, you're quiet. She's shouting, you're quiet. She's nagging, you're quiet. Men know how to lock in anytime they feel bad. But women also know how to stop talking when the man keeps quiet. When he keeps excessive quiet, it means that I'm not ready to talk. And that thing your mother did, in their generation, that worked for them. You see, waking man up 12:1. It worked for your mother. But this generation, believe me, is not working again. That is an expired theory. It worked with our mothers. Don't ever. You're waiting. 2 of you went to bed by 9. Alarm in vibration. Or you didn't even sleep until it was 1. When the man is changing gear, ascending the hill of rest. You just say, honey, baby. And the man, what is this? Let's talk. Eh? Talk when? Where? About what? Now. You will talk alone. So that also is not communication. So what do? We must learn to understand your partner's communication system. The way every man is communicated in a different way. Learn how your husband assimilates and hears you when you talk. Don't use what your friend said, that anytime I want my wife to understand, I know how I do it. If I don't shout at her, she doesn't understand. No. Learn how your wife understands and hears. We have different entities and we must learn to communicate with our spouse, otherwise we get into trouble communicating with our spouses. All right? Another cause of divorce is addiction. When we talk about addiction, what comes to mind is alcohol. Another thing that comes to mind is drug. Another thing that comes to mind is sex. Another thing that comes to mind is pornography. Another one is gambling. And these are the environment of addiction. Sexual addiction causes divorce. Pornographic addiction causes divorce. How will that be? If we had time, I will explain. Gambling is an addiction. It causes divorce. Social media is the latest, where a woman will be on phone, the husband leaves for work, comes back in the evening, the woman is still in the same spot chatting. The only time she got up, for those who will get up, is to go and take her bath and return to that place. As she's chatting, Telemundo is on. So chatting with Telemundo, you will not know that the time is going. And the man comes home, sees you in the same spot, probably with the same clothes, and walks into the house, and you say, hey, baby, welcome. And he didn't respond. You say, how can you imagine? How can you come in with the trouble from outside? No. He met the trouble at home. You are the trouble that he met. Because the same spot, the same nightwear you are still wearing. At that point, you begin to irritate him. And when you do that, you stand up from that time that he's now back with your social media in your hand, phone, and you start following him. Honey, is there any problem? Honey, are you okay? My dear, stop that rubbish and go and take your bath and change that rag you're wearing. Change that thing you're wearing. Stop pestering him. Are you okay? What is happening? Is everything the matter? You are the matter that occupies space and have weight, but cannot move. You are the matter that has mattered from morning till evening. So these are the addictions that you must run away from. Alcohol. This one is for men. Alcohol. You drink to stupor. You know, Pastor Wisdom said that. They said, take a little wine for your stomach. I will not stay here now and tell you if you take wine, you're going to hell. No. But I will also tell you that any wine that makes you stagger is no longer little for stomach. That one is down food. You ate food. So be very careful. You go to the bar, anything that is free, you drink. Let it go around. You drink. You are done. Oh. One bottle is your gauge. Once you say, let it go around. Again, let it go around. And there are people who are agents of hell. Their work is let it go around. He will be going around until your family stop going around. And your wife complained the first day, complained the second day, complained the third day. Let me tell you, another thing also that happens to men is that sometimes men think that alcohol powers their sexual urge. It's an addiction, my brother. Once you have developed that mindset and the devil click the button, it start working for you, you think that's what happened. It's not what is happening. It's mindset. The devil wants to put you in that bondage and lock you up. Put your mind right. The number 9 is abuse. When we talk about abuse, we are talking about abuse at different levels. We are talking about physical abuse, that is beating either of the spouses, man beating woman or woman beating men. Okay? And from the latest statistics, about 40% of men suffer abuse. Shockingly. But out of the 40% of men that suffer abuse, domestic abuse at home, 2% of them report it. But out of the 40% of women that suffer abuse, about 35% of them report it. So it now looks like abuse is more on that side. So when we talk about physical abuse, we're also talking about emotional abuse. So abuse will always cause divorce, especially when it's physical abuse and there is already a threat to one's life. When your life is at risk, most people encourage you at that time to stay a consistent thing. You have beat her today, tomorrow you beat her, next tomorrow you beat her, you keep beating her as if she is your house girl. Then she may have no choice than to step out. Either ways, maybe it's the man. Okay? And one of the analyses we also made the other day is that physical abuse most times end at the point of physical abuse, which is more or less what the women suffer more. But emotional abuse lasts long. For the fact that you look at your husband and say, are you a man? You see that thing you did? As he's walking, he's feeling very empty. Are you a man? Are you a man? And coincidentally, the devil will set another stupid girl in the workplace who says, so if men come out, you will come out. Eh? That's thing that my wife said. And this girl is saying, sincerely, I'm not a man. So it lasts long in their mind. So when you're talking to him again, are you a man? It's ringing. So emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, these things are all abuse. And when it gets too much, one of the things it does is that it reduces the value of your spouse. It makes her or him see himself less than he should. And once that complex comes, resentment comes, inability to do anything comes. And when you keep talking down on something, the thing will underperform. Now, for the men, it could be the way you talk to them. It could be other things that causes abuse also in marriages is that when a man is unemployed or when a man is lacking cash, it triggers abuse from the man. The man can do a transfer aggression on you. Any small thing irritates the man because when a man is not in charge of his home financially, he gets irritated naturally. So anything irritates him. So he feels less than a man. So if you do anything that he could have said is enough, please don't do that again, he will slap you because he's trying to vent. So unemployment, lack of money could cause all those kind of abuse. So how do you handle it? You have to triggers of your wife. What is the triggers of your husband that makes them abuse you verbally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically? Look at the triggers, the things that causes it, and disease from them. Don't pull the trigger, because if you pull the trigger, the natural thing that will happen is will be released. So avoid the triggers. Number 10. Difference in religion. Difference in religion. This also I will narrow down to the women. When you are telling a woman, be careful who you marry and be careful the religion the man is involved with. You say, no, don't worry. They said it's the same God we serve. I'm a Christian, but I can marry a Muslim. Is he not the same God? My brother, my sister is the same God. But when you get in, you say you will see the identity of the God well. Pastor, don't worry, the man loves me. It's not about Islam. He loves me. It's not about Buddha. He loves me. It's not about Hindu. He loves me. Not about... Let me tell you, when you guys stay together like that, no problem. He will be loving you. You'll be loving him. You'll be going to that your church. You'll be going to... But one of the things that will happen is that when a Muslim sets his mat towards the north to pray and the wife is passing by, you can do that only for first 6 months or 1 year of that marriage. First, he will start telling you, and anytime I'm praying, don't come in that environment. Next, he will tell you, join me in wife. Even if you don't know what I do, anything you see me do, you do. For peace to reign, you will do. They are beginning to talk to me badly in the mosque because my wife doesn't come to mosque. How can you be at home, you don't come? At least you go to church on Sunday, be coming to mosque on Friday. You will follow. If you resist it, that's where divorce will come. And then before you know it, 2 of you will give birth to a child. And then where would the child go to? North or south? Before you know it, you tell the man that, but you promised me that I am free to go to church. You marry me. You deceived me. He said, yes, I promised you, but not my child. Go to your church, but my boy goes with me. My girl goes with me. So you start getting into trouble with that. Before you know it, you're gone. It's not only that between Christians and Muslims. It's also that between a particular church and another church. If you know that their system, please leave them alone. It's a very bad combination for a House on the Rock or Christ Embassy member to go and marry a deeper life person. It's bad combination. Not because we don't believe in the same God or both of us are not born again. You are both born again, but one of the good things that will happen is that if the man is from deeper life and you come into deeper life, even though he likes you wearing things and making up, his brothers in the church will keep talking to him until he will start shutting you down. Baby, just anytime you want to go to church, don't make up. Anytime you want to go to church, don't wear earring. Anytime you want to go to church, by the time the Lord keep coming, you will get tired. I want to live my life. I want to live my life will start happening. Before you know it, divorce will occur. So be very careful. If you know the people of the same faith, of the same belief system, of the same doctrine, you flow with them. Don't, because you are lacking marriage or you're lacking husband, jump into the hand of a man who is from another religion. He's from Amok. He's from Ikanka. Huh? The religion of the sound and light of God. So you have to be very careful. So these are the things that causes divorce in marriage. And then let's look at the tendencies of a divorcee. Is that most divorcees are angry people. They are what? Angry people. They are angry people. First tendency is an average divorcee is an angry person. It's an angry man. It's an angry woman. Second is that they are bitter. They are wallowing from the last experience. They are bitter over the man. They are bitter over the woman. They are not yet it. They are struggling with forgiveness or unforgiveness. So they are bitter. So you have to know that the same man who is telling you, I want to marry you, or the same woman who is saying yes to you and he or she is a divorcee, has bitterness that hasn't been treated. The tendency of a divorcee is that they compare a lot. If you marry a divorcee, you will suffer comparison. My former wife sweeps like this, and you are sweeping like this. My former wife is always using Royco to cook. You're using Maggie to cook. My former wife does it this way, you do it that way. They do a lot of comparison. Even when they don't verbalize the comparison, their attitude shows you that she's comparing you. And most times you can't handle it. Honey, is that food sweet? Hey, very nice. At least better than my former wife. You will smile. No. You see my former wife? No, she's very good at this. She's very good at this. What is this telling you? That she's better than you in that one. And before you know it, you start frowning. And sometimes these things come on impulse, on reflex. It will just come. You will say, oh, so baby, I'm sorry. It's not that, but what's in the dog? You don't talk. My friend says withdraw statement and withdraw slap. They are not the same. You can withdraw statement, but you can't withdraw slap. You have given the slap, you have given it. So he has given you the slap. No withdrawal. So comparison. Another tendency of them is that transfer aggression. There are things you will do. That is 10 years after divorce. He will slap you because of the pain of 10 years. Transfer aggression. Any small thing, the transfer aggression. Just write it, transfer aggression. Another one, they are suspicious of everything. Are you sure? Are you sure? This is what my former wife did. This is what they are very suspicious of every move you make. So you have to be very careful with them. So it's easier to deal with a person who is in his first marriage than to deal with a person in second marriage. The next tendency, the likelihood of divorce in that second marriage is higher than the likelihood of divorce in that second one with a divorcee is higher. Because a divorcee, he that is down, fears no fall. You don't divorce first, you can divorce second. Wait till you be. He will just drop you like a pack of carbon and continue his life. As a matter of fact, he said 45% chance of divorce in the first marriage, 57% chances in second marriage, 72% chances in third marriage. So the higher, the greater chance. So if you're going in there, my dear, put yourself together. Put yourself together. We are talking on a normal note, on a general note. We also have exceptions to this rule. Another thing that you experience with divorcees is that they live impressive lifestyle. Their tendency is impression. They live impressive lifestyle. If the former wife had a Corolla, you can get to a Spider Camry. Impressive. If you took the former wife to Dubai, he would take you to America. Impressive. So in his impression, you will enjoy him. But inside his impression, you will be suffering. Because he knows he's being monitored. It's easier to marry a man who is a woman who is a divorcee than to marry a man who is a divorcee. You can survive more with a divorcee woman. A divorcee woman would do anything to protect the second marriage. But a divorcee man, nothing is at stake much. Praise God. So, Pastor, what is the solution? Luke 14:28. Be sure that's what you want. Be sure you really want a divorcee. You just don't want to enter into marriage for entry's sake. That this man who is a divorcee, you like him, you love him, and you want him. For who he is, be sure of what you want. Number 2, love him or her for who she is or who he is. If you want him, love him or her for who he or she is. Number 3, which is very, very delicate and sensitive part of any divorcee. Love for his children. That's where women fail woefully. Love and care for the man's children. God forbid. God forbid. Pastor, because we need divorce, God forbid. Oh. You see my 3 daughters. You enter my house. Take them play. The song that will follow is Carry Me There Go. Carry me there go. You will go, my dear, you will go. Every divorcee protects the fruit of the first marriage because that's the souvenir they left with. So if you marry a divorcee, don't play with his children, don't play with her children. They protect them jealously. Don't try it. Don't come and say, they are not my children. I have to give that to my own. I have to give that to my own. If there are 3, let me give birth to 3 also. You are creating a fight. 3 nations against 3 nations. Arsenal against Barca. My dear, love the fruit of that marriage, the first marriage. If you want to kill a divorcee, love his or her children more than you even love him or her. If you do that, it's as if you did the children, because anything the children do or say is what he believes. So if he wants to mess up and they say, Daddy, don't play with our stepmother, the man will calm down. But most times, you start fighting the children. I don't know what the children are doing in this house. I don't know what the children are doing. Can you imagine? You go and eat the meat and say they ate the meat. You keep money, remove it. You say they have removed it. The man knows sincerely that the children doesn't steal. Since you came now, they have become thieves. Obviously, he knows where he's coming from. What he will do is that he will